Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So obviously there's a lot going on right now with the Jets. Extending Quinnen Williams, training camp starts next week. We got the Hall of Fame game, August 3rd? So tons of things happening. Also, will the Jets re-sign Quan Alexander? When are the Jets going to restructure Aaron Rodgers' contract? A lot happening, but another major storyline is what's going on with Dalvin Cook. Will he sign eventually with the Jets here? Because this is a realistic thing, right? We've seen Dalvin interact with Jets fans on social media. I mean, he's following Allen Lazard and Woody Johnson on social media. I mean, this is something that has been talked about a lot, really a lot over the past couple of weeks. I feel like it's almost an everyday thing, talking about his fits with different squads, right? Denver, Miami, New England, a little bit of Buffalo Bills, but it does seem like the Bills have kind of cooled off on it. But no, in any case, we do have a couple of small updates, not so much saying, oh, you know, a deal is imminent or he's leaning to the Dolphins, he's leaning to the Jets. But just some a small look behind the curtain. So Jeff Darlington of ESPN is saying that Dalvin's taking his time throughout this process. He really wants to, you know, figure out the right destination for him. He's not going to be rushing it. There's no real set deadline or anything like that. In fact, it actually lines up with a quote that Dalvin Cook had on the entire process where he said, "The process is fun. You embrace it. If you don't want to be wanted by people, then something is wrong." And obviously, you know, we've seen Dalvin play this thing up on social media, right? He's, again, not only just interacting with Jets fans and whatnot, but he's doing it to the Patriots. He's doing it to the Dolphins. He's really, you know, liking all these different jersey swaps and everything like that. So he's definitely playing into it, right? He's, you know, by his own words here, he's embracing it. He is enjoying it. But then we also had Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network come out yesterday and gave his 2 cents on what's going on with not only just Dalvin Cook, but also DeAndre Hopkins. He said in regards to Hopkins that he thinks that he will be on a roster before the start of training camp, because with Hopkins, you know, he's missed time due to suspension, he's missed time due to injury over the past couple of seasons. He wants to get into training camp, really start building the chemistry with that quarterback. He doesn't want to be coming in halfway through and then having to, you know, rush into rush that process. You know, you're looking at practices and whatnot being behind the 8 ball. So in regards to D-Hop, it's looking like, again, quote unquote, before the start of training camp. And as we all know, for the Jets and the Browns, it starts next week. And then for everybody else, it starts in 2 weeks. Now, in regards to Cook, Pelissero did say in his own words that he doesn't get the sense that there's that same sense of urgency. He will take his time. There doesn't seem to be a major rush. In fact, he pointed out that there is a thought that Dalvin could actually be waiting until Monday to see, you know, what the extension market looks like. You know, Saquon Barkley's a major talking point. Josh Jacobs is also a major talking point. What are these guys' contracts going to look like? Guaranteed money. How long are the deals going to be? So supposedly that could play a factor in Dalvin Cook's decision. And if he's not really, you know, like on the fence right now, like, oh man, I have to make a decision within the next 24, 48 hours. And he's, again, just kind of embracing the entire process and taking his time and just wants to find the right spot, then, you know, all this lines up. All this makes total sense. So here's the deal, though. Fortunately for the Jets, the running back roster is pretty good. And really the only reason why we're having this discussion in the first place is because Breece Hall's ACL injury last season. It's not 100%, 1000% guaranteed that he will be ready for the start of the regular season. Week 1 in September. That's still up in the air. It's the expectation, right? At least as far as, you know, what the organization is saying. That's the expectation, but we don't know that to be a 100% fact. In the event that Breece is not ready to go, in the event that the coaching staff doesn't want to say, okay, great, you're finally, you know, you're back from your ACL injury, you have to do X, Y, and Z, take the bulk of the carries and, you know, be the workhorse for this offense, right? Maybe they're looking at it like, okay, well, Breece Hall's going into year 2. He's coming off a significant lower body injury. Maybe we don't, A, want to rush him back, and then B, when he does get back healthy, not put a ton on his plate to where it's just like, oh my, like we got to hit the ground running immediately, and the overall volume is, you know, really, really high. So the hypothetical question is that if Dalvin winds up elsewhere, or if he takes another 3, 4, 5 weeks to sign a contract, really trying to lock down his decision, make sure it's the right move. Do the Jets want to wait that long, right? Or should Joe Douglas, should this organization pivot and maybe target another running back in the meantime? Because this is the good news, right? This is the silver lining. If the Jets decide that, hey, we actually want that, another running back, another veteran in the building, we like Bam Knight, Michael Carter, and Izzy A from Pittsburgh, mid to late round pick here, but we want to be sure, we want to be safe here. There's a lot of viable options, a lot of safe bets, a lot of veteran backs out on the open market that I feel like you could get relatively cheap, right? There's multiple guys here. And granted, some present different skill sets, but the one I want to focus in on is Kareem Hunt. This is somebody who the Jets had interest in last season at the trade deadline. Right when Breece Hall went down with injury, there were rumors flying all over the place. Which running back will the Jets target? Right, we're obviously winning a bunch of games early on in the season, but Breece Hall was a major part of that. He was, really carrying the offense. And where are we going to get that type of production? Maybe we should trade a late round pick, go out and acquire one of these guys in the block. And Kareem Hunt's name kept popping up over and over again. There was that significant level of interest. I mean, we can talk about Dearness Johnson at the time. Ultimately, the team ended up trading for James Robinson and then proceeded to not really play him that much. So interesting dynamic there. But no, so we look at Kareem Hunt still out in the open market, a veteran running back, somebody who could come in and take some of the load early on and be the team's RB1 for a couple weeks. And then once Breece Hall is ready to go back to his normal self, he could easily slide into that RB2 role. He's totally fine being the complementary piece, if you will. This is what he's been doing with Cleveland for the past couple of seasons. Totally fine at it. And quite frankly, has been one of the best secondary running backs in football. Last season, he had 438 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns with over 200 receiving yards in 17 games, although he didn't start in a single game, obviously because the Browns have Nick Chubb as well. But, Kareem Hunt's an interesting option, given the Jets' past interest, understanding that he's still out in the open market, also looking at Dalvin Cook saying, okay, we don't really have like a set timetable or a deadline or anything like that. If Cook wants to drag this out another 5 weeks, say he makes his decision August, 2 weeks into the preseason, right? August 20th. Do the Jets want to get, again, playing it safe as opposed to being sorry and potentially missing out? Do the Jets want to add that veteran beforehand? I think Kareem Hunt could be an interesting option. Although I will say, I do feel like Hunt would work out in Washington quite well. Obviously, Sam Howell, new starting quarterback for the Commanders. Yes, they have a bunch of weapons at wide receiver, but you're looking at running back. Kareem Hunt could come in and help take some of the load off of Howell's shoulders, as well as he's working with Eric Bieniemy, right? Former Chiefs offensive coordinator. He's worked with him before in the past. So I do think that fit could be pretty seamless, but I think everybody in the locker room, everybody in the front office understands the sense of urgency, understands the position and the pressure that the Jets have on them this season to succeed, right? We cannot get 6-7 wins. This is not the year to do that. Not the year whatsoever. So I think because there is that overall understanding here, the Jets will make the smart decision. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Where do you stand with this whole Cook thing? It doesn't really seem like an ending is near, according to these different insiders and whatnot. Hopefully that does change. I mean, that'd be awesome if news breaks in 5 minutes. Dalvin Cook is signing with the Jets. But if it's not Cook, do you even want the Jets to address running back? Or are you thinking more of a Zeke Elliott, Leonard Fournette, two maybe cheaper options? Kareem Hunt, I don't think would be, super expensive as well. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.